First list here tonight is that red-white turbo boom list. This one just caught my eye, and we're going to do it again. We made one small adjustment in the sideboard, but generally speaking, I just want to play some more Judge's Familiar. That's really what I want to do. So we have Judge's Familiar, we have the Giver of Runes, we have one league under our belt. Hopefully that will be enough for us to really get a grasp of what's going on here with this list and see if we can't win some games. So red-white boom bust, or a turbo boom, is trying to use Cleansing Wildfire, boom bust, no pillage, no molten rain, no stone rain, and attempting to use Leonin Arbiter with these, along with Luminarch and Rabblemaster to 1. Finish the game quickly, and 2. Remove my opponent's lands. That is what we are going to play. The Luminarch, since Endermeeps looked it up, basically adds a counter at the beginning of each combat, so you get to play this down. It grows Judge's Familiar larger, Rabblemaster's larger, whatever it is that you want to grow larger. So that's kind of cool. Sideboards are pretty much unchanged from last time. We do have a Skyclave apparition. When we actually played the Mirror, we ran into this card. So they had updated to this. I don't have an updated list from the creator, but I'm going to make an interpretation that there's maybe a pair of these in there. And that's the list. Let's play some Magic. Let's play some Magic. Bam. 100 play points. Down the drain. Joining the match. First opponent up. Let's go. What's up, Odysseus? I think I said hello to Odysseus too. How's everyone's Friday been? Mine's been pretty lazy. Chill. Not a whole lot going on. I'm doing okay. I could honestly be a lot better. My mouth hurts. Such is life. How about you, Mad Knives? How's your day going? Looking for an opponent. That's what we're doing. Da, 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 da. Gotta find that opponent. There we go. Let's kick this night off. Let's get a W here right at the beginning. This is going to set the tone for the entire league right here. You watch. If we fail, you might as well just shut the stream off. We win though. We'll get a 5-0 today. I'm feeling it. Let's do this. John with a H is our opponent. Look at this. Look at this crazy squawk word. The smoke from the fires has made breathing not fun. That's not good. That's not good. I hope that improves. No booms, no busts, no cleansing wildfires, but this is kind of the things we want to be seeing here, so we'll go ahead and keep. Giver into Leonin Arbiter seems like an okay start here. I hope the fires go away soon. I know there's been a lot of fires all around. Not good for really anybody. Giver runes off an inspiring vantage, and we'll give it back to our opponent. Bloodstained Mire. They did declare a Lyris here as well. Bam. Leonin Arbiter. I assume they'll fetch here. Fetching away. Blood Crypt here. Shocks it and might shoot Giver. And shoots the Giver. Passing back to them. Now we will have 2 bolts here. If my opponent is Shadow, it'll be interesting. We do have a Bloodstained Mire. They've got to get rid of Leonin Arbiter here. Hopefully they do that before trying to cast anything. Giver of Runes, do they have the removal spell? They do not. I will attack, pass turn. We're in a great spot here, especially if we get to go to our turn here with Giver of Runes unlocked. Seal of Fire will be able to kill Leonin Arbiter. Bye-bye, Leonin Arbiter. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. They can fetch for both of these. A lot of fires this year. Yeah, there's been some pretty crazy ones. We all started the year with a pretty crazy one as well. We have 9 life total points to get through. There's a Death Shadow. There's a Swift Spear. Alright. We need 3 more points of damage somewhere here. I'm going to go ahead and block. I don't think there's any reason not to check that at the door. Couple Sunbaked Canyons. Let's go ahead and cycle one of these. So Ghost Quarter. Not exactly what we need. And we'll pass the turn. I need them to take 3 more points of damage here. If they would be ever so kind to do that. 1 up. Thank you for the follow. Oh, we're thinking about some things with a Dismember. Oh my gosh, opponent. No, don't do that. Get bolted. Get bolted. It's gonna be a good day. All right. So we have red-black prowess. Skyclaves come in for this matchup. Core Firewalker probably can. Protection from red, Burning Forge, and definitely the Auriok champions. Rest in Peace, no. Eidolon, no. Ravenous Trap, no. Probably not. Let's see here. So how do we want to look at this? So we have Path. Probably want to keep these. My opponent should be fairly light on lands, so the Boom Bust and the Cleansing Wildfire seems alright. They have bolts. Luminarch might not be the right play here, just because we need them to not just randomly take out a creature. Obviously, the Giver Runes can protect once, but if they have a pair of bolts, it gets a little bit awkward. Rabblemaster seems alright here. I almost feel like I don't have to turbo anything out here. We're just going to bring Aurioks in, probably Core Firewalkers in. And then we have 4 more cards I'm interested in. Maybe I'm just pulling out some Judge's Familiars here and bringing these all in. And then I just have this suite of red-black anti-creatures basically here. I don't really do shout-outs 1 up. Yeah, I think this is good. All right. Send it on back. Send it on back. All right. Couple bolts. That worked for us before in the path. We'll go ahead and keep this hand. Bloodstain Mire here. Blood Crypt. Shocking it in. Plays a Swift Spear. Alright, I guess I'm going to be bolting the Swift Spear. That's what we'll do. We'll bolt here before they can do anything else. Pass the turn. We could save the bolts for later. Trying to double bolt my opponent. I don't think we're going to get that opportunity this time. So we want to keep one of these paths around just in case. Just in case. All right, another Swift Spear here, in for a point, goes to 16 and passes it back to us. Let's go ahead. Put the flagstones down here. I think I just want a Cleansing Wildfire here. Give them an extra mana, why not? Just looking to cantrip this. I have Bolt hidden right now. We go through another land, that's fine. All on you, opponent. If they try to go super crazy here with the Swift Spear, I can at least Simian Spirit Guide and bolt it away. Here I might do this just to save my face a little bit more, because I have the path. And my Simian Spirit Guide, other than just being a creature here, is just here to help me remove a creature there. Alright, well. I guess we'll lean an Arbiter here and put him on black only. Shall we? Black only, opponent. Good luck. Why don't we just Wildfire ourselves in that spot? Because I only need 3 mana. I don't think they have too many basics here, and so I'm trying to play to that advantage. We'll see if it pays off here. All right, I guess I'm attacking. I kind of don't want to do this path until I know they can't remove my Leonin Arbiter. All right. Gonna attack me for 7 here. I'll path. Hope they don't fatal push this. At the same time, if they do, I guess it's okay here. Why don't we, yeah. All right, Apparition here. We can just put this into play tapped. We'll save the Apparition for when there's a creature here. We'll attack for 2 and pass the turn. We might be seeing ourselves with a Death Shadow at this point. There's the Death Shadow. No surprises there. It's a little 2/2. Little 2/2. We could bolt it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try that. Why not? Why not, right? Just get it out of the way. In for 2, down to 9, pass turn. Polluted Delta. Oh, they have the Fatal Push. All right. Okay. Looks like we're fetching. Now, I've already used 3 bolts, so they're probably feeling pretty confident about this. They go ahead and shock in. They've got black floating. They unearth the Death Shadow, and we have a 7/7 Death Shadow. Ooh. All right, well, I have to Apparition here. Apparition, remove their Death Shadow here. We'll put the Flagstones into play, keeping the new one, searching out a land. I'm excited for this Rabble Master, but obviously we needed to get rid of the thing that could kill us. Foreman, it's going. How are you? We're trying to do things today. Makes red mana. Bolts. Now they get a 1/1. If only we had 1 more mana from that Cleansing Wildfire earlier. You're gonna hold that against me? Here comes a Scourge. It's an 8/8 Scourge. Alright, Rabble Master, pass turn. Not going to play this into play. Make it look like I have a path, a bolt, something like that. Just hanging out? Just hanging out. Nice. Nice. Blocks here with their illusion. Alright, so we have an 8/8 here. If I let it through and they have a bolt here, I don't die. So I think we have to. If they have a Team or Battle Rage, we're in trouble. I suppose, actually, if they bolt me, I would die. If I block this, what? I could draw a path. I have 1 path and 1 Apparition left. Or Auriok Champion. Let's take the chance that they don't have a bolt. Okay, they had Team or Battle Rage. It didn't matter if I blocked. It really didn't matter if I blocked. By the way, Team or Battle Rage is pretty crazy because the second strike here gets to be so much larger. Alright, well, if we blocked, still would have died to double strike. We had a Rabble Master and a Path coming, so got some things coming, but not enough. Not enough. Alright. Simian Spirit Guides come back in because I'm on the play here. I'm going to take the 2 core Firewalkers out and just have the Auriok Champions being black and red pro. This is probably a little closer for the Prowess matchup. This is just going to die to a Scourge and to a Death Shadow. Bringing the Simian Spirit Guides back because if I can get a Leonin Arbiter out very quickly, my opponent may not be able to play Magic. So let's try that. Infinite Death Shadows. They had a Unearth. Now, argument could put Rest in Peace in. I'm not gonna do that. We're going to just stay the course here. Alright, I have a Giver. I have some Auriok Champion, which stonewalls a creature for a while. I don't really have the Leonin Arbiter plan that I kind of want, though. Auriok's good, but is it good enough to just rely on? I wonder. Something tells me to ship this back. Try to go for something even more aggressive than this. If I top deck something, though... I'm convincing myself slowly that it's okay to play this. Giver into Auriok, Burning Forge. Auriok's pretty safe. I guess I can keep this. I think I want to be Land Destruction, but these two cards are probably worth it, the Auriok and the Burnington, with a Giver as backup as well. Alright, we'll keep it. Auriok is pretty insane. It's fair. It's a fair assessment. We're gonna put the fan on in here. Get them warm under the lights. Under the lights. We'll start with a Giver in case I can save Burnington from a random fatal push. You can make the reverse and go play Burnington to save the Giver from a bolt. Thought sees me. No! Pretty good for them. Pretty good for them. Alright, new Giver, new Burnington. Probably just pass the turn here with Giver up. Go ahead, opponent. Fatal pushes. We'll give new Giver protection from black. Giving it from black because I could use this in its own special way. Cleansing, huh? Cleansing, huh? To the person that suggested doing this here, kind of just want to go after this. See what else I draw here. I know this is enabling another spell to be played here, but I think after they play their Swamp down, I could like have Ghost Quarter here as well. Another Flagstones. Let's play our Flagstones here. This is just thinning our library just ever so slightly. And I'm probably okay to attack for one. So they went and got black mana here. They'd like to have black, it looks like. What do we got here? Dismember. Alright, protection from black. Again. Let's see if they have another land. The answer is no. The answer is no. Sunbaked Canyon cantripping here. We found ourselves an Auriok Champion. We'll slap that down. And I guess I'll hit for one. Go ahead. Down to 10 they go. I wonder how many basic swamps they play. We found our Auriok Champion. Did my opponent find... Well, they have a Death Shadow. That's fine. We gain a little bit of life. Of course. Of course. Alright. Cantrip again. Because we're hitting all lands. There we go. There we go. Play this out. Cast the boom. We're getting there. Sacred Foundry in here. And I'll probably just pass the turn here. Death Shadow being a 3/3 is kind of annoying. don't really want that to come back in my face just yet. Opponent finds a Scalding Tarn, so we can fetch and shock and get a Blood Crypt or something like that, if they care. A Bolt, huh? A Bolt. Let's put this Ghost Quarter down, scare them a little bit. It's kind of weird to attack here, because attacking makes Death Shadow bigger. Let's just hold tight. Oh, 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 we got some fetch lands. We're almost at the ability to bust. That would be hilarious. Just bust out the world. We're already through one Fatal Push, so that's kind of good for us. All right. There's a bust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like they play a relatively high number of basics, maybe about 4 or 5, being just the red-black list. I think I'm going to hold this Boom Bust here and, quite frankly, try to get it where I have the ability to do the bust side and see what happens. My opponent's fetching with a Scalding Tarn. We'll probably look at that much later if that's alright. Foreman, much later. Jun Scourge, though, I see that. Blood Crypt went sideways here. We're fetching again. Alright. Blood Crypt sideways. Okay. I could always do the boom side, hold priority Ghost Quarter as well. These are options we have. At 8. They're at 8. If they play Scourge, they're going to... Scourge is going down. We have a Swift Spirit. We have a Death Shadow. Not a whole lot's going on here. Cleansing Wildfire. Let's go ahead and cleanse their Blood Crypt. See if they go get a basic. I presume they will. They're making red. Obviously. Bonus Lightning Bolt's interesting here. Bolts me. If I attack with the Auriok Champion here, am I in risk of dying? Maybe not so much if I boom bust here. Let's attack with the Auriok Champion and then do the boom side, holding priority for Ghost Quarter. And blow up the black source and then blow up the red source with the Ghost Quarter. Alright. Hold priority here. Land. And take this and go after this mountain as well. Booming and quartering. They don't have anything from the quarter. They don't have anything from the boom. We're getting in for 1 next turn. We're taking the block. I'll take that 6. I'll take that 6. Ugh. Ugh. Just in case they have some weird way to gain a little bit of life here. They know it's done. They see me attacking. They see me attacking. Double bolting my opponent again. Game 1, game 3. Taking it down. What's up, Maestro? How's it going? It's going to be a good night. Taking match 1 from our opponent. Looking pretty good here. 2-1 out of the gate. Playing Turbo Boom. Red-white in Modern. Woo! No Judges Familiar showed up. Plenty of Givers, a couple Leonin Arbiters, and plenty of Boom and Cleansing Wildfire. Let's make it that kind of night. Let's make it that kind of night. Match 2. Maestro's probably running the Panza stuff, right? Panza. Let's play first. Let's get that turn 1 lead and Arbiter down. Well, there's lead and Arbiter. No lands. We need lands to play Magic. Mulligan. Alright, 2 sets of lands here. We've got the Rabble Luminarch. Definitely want to keep this. I think I'm tempted to put back the Path here. I think that's alright. Tappy land, go ahead, opponent. We don't know if my opponent has creatures. Maybe they're a Tron. Maybe I want to blow it up. Blow up a land. Who knows? Windswept Heath. Fetching. Probably going to play the Luminarch. If it's creature-based, because I'll need my creatures to be a little bit bigger. It's a Noble Hierarch and a Snow-Covered Forest. A little behind with the Giver here. I'm going to assume my opponent will be kind to us. Luminarch down. Grow the Luminarch and pass the turn. Probably just going to snap off a Rabblemaster next. Hallowed Fountain. What do we got here? Bant Spirits. Teferi. Bounces. Alright. That's fine. We're just going to slam down a Rabblemaster here and tap Teferi for 1. Some sort of Bant list running the Nobles and the Teferis. Teferi dies to the Goblin generated by the Rabblemaster, and we pass it back. Okay. Gotta be careful of Ice Fangs going forward here. Hero. Land. Perfect example of being a little bit careful. I think this is, although it looks kind of bad here, I think this turn is Giver, Judges, and Luminarch. I can play all of that. And playing all of that down, I know I'm not cleansing here, but cleansing actually puts something extra in the yard for Euro. So let's play Luminarch. Let's play Judges. Let's play a Giver. And we're going to make this token a 2/2. Just flooding the board with creatures. Let's target this. I'm not going to attack with the Rabblemaster this turn in fears of a Ice Fang. So just the 2 creatures and pass the turn. All right. Your move, opponent. Grossmarrow. There's the Ice Fang. Has Death Touch. Drew a card. All right. May still Cleansing Wildfire here this next turn, just to draw a card, but I don't think it was a smart idea to start fueling this. Batterskull has been found. It's a living weapon, which is really bad for Rabblemaster tokens. Super bad. This is kind of cool. Luminarch. Let's make Judges Familiar really large here. I can always give it protection from green or blue for a turn. Unfortunately, all the goblins go crazy. Wow, that skipped over that really nicely. We won't talk about what just happened there. Pass the turn. Alright, so my opponent's just going to gain a whole bunch of life due to the germ with the Batterskull here. I'm going to have to find a way to get rid of that. How? There's really no way I can currently. Maybe I can make a giant Judge's Familiar, and then they won't be able to attack. Maybe that's what I've got to do. Fetching with the Windswept Heath after playing Ice Fang Kodal. Scary thing is if Judge's Familiar were to ever be bounced by, say, a Teferi, Giver can prevent that. A gigantic Familiar. We're trying. Euro's doing Euro things here. Probably attacks with the 4. Nope. All right, we'll just pass the turn to us. Land. Let's go to combat here. Trigger. We are putting kind of everything into Judge's Familiar at this point. We'll yield to these. You know what? I'm just going to let the goblins run in here. I kind of don't want to tap down our Giver here. Let's fire off a Cleansing Wildfire on our own land. This way we don't fill the graveyard too much for them. Flooded Strand cracked here. We have blue, white, and green available. Spell Queller. Alright. I'll probably just cantrip the Sunbaked Canyon then on their end step. I just need Judge's Familiar not to die anytime soon. It's kind of weird to put it into the creature that I have to sacrifice to protect things. But they have plenty of mana here. Teferi coming down here. We're going to bounce. I will attempt to save this, and I'll name white. Just in case they have a path. Prevented. Denied. Haha. Alright. We named white. 4/4 Germ thinks about it for a moment. Backs off. Go ahead and cantrip our Sunbaked Canyon. There's Boom Bust. There's a Bolt. Alright. Go to combat. Let's make Goblin Bigger, Goblin Bigger. New Goblin. Attacks. I kind of want to try to kill this Teferi. They have one card left, so I'm going to go ahead and get risky here with the Giver. And the Judge's Familiar here, and I'm going to give it pro, like, green or blue here. Probably blue because this is flying as well. I'm hoping that final card here is not a path. So we'll give it blue so that this comes through. I know the rest is going at Teferi as well. This is just making sure this dies. These have to attack anyway. Okay. Let's go ahead and bolt Spell Queller here. I could also bolt the Germ. If I bolt the Germ, they're just hooking this up somewhere else. I think I want to bolt the Spell Queller, get the cleansing on my flagstones to help a little bit with our mana situation. We don't have a lot of red at the moment. We're doing, we're Spell Quellering. All right. Go ahead, opponent. Go ahead. I sense we're going to see a Euro here. So they drew for the turn, they're going to draw again. Here we go. Euro. Euro showing up. Flooded Strand and an unknown card, and it's a Noble Hierarch. Alright, my opponent could attack for quite a bit here. Decides to just do the germ. It becomes a 6/6 Vigilance. I'm not going to block. No reason. No reason. This is Sunbaked. Let's go ahead and cantrip this. See if we can find something a little more useful. The answer is no. Luminarch's doing Luminarch things to grow. Judge's Familiar. Unfortunately, I've got to send the goblins in. I think I want a Boom Bust here. At least a land of mine. Get rid of like the breeding pool here. This will help me with my red mana and kind of thin the list out just a little bit more as well. Unless we're actually doing the bust side, everything's kind of, you know, not doing a whole lot for us. Alright, opponent's going to top deck here. Judge's Familiar can kill the Euro, which is kind of nice that it's a 7/7. A little afraid of everything coming in here. I haven't done the math yet, but I think we can protect ourselves with enough that will be okay. We're one path away from destruction. How many basics islands do they have? I don't know, but they've got a Hallowed Fountain over here. If we keep top decking lands, we can ping an island and see what happens. We could also just hold lands until we have enough for the bust. So we have a 6/6 in here. These Exalted triggers do make it large enough that it gets around Judge's Familiar. I probably still block this with protection and just hope that they don't have the path still. We'll give it Pro Blue. Cool. Alright, we don't take any damage here. 2 cards to beat. And they're going to my turn, so looking good. There's a Bolt. Doesn't do a whole lot. Let's go Squirter an island, see what happens. Make informed decisions. They float the island. If they don't come up with another island, it's tempting to bolt this Spell Queller, which would bolt this one, which would then get rid of this. Let's play around a mana leak. They have a lot of blue floating. Let's go to combat first. Let's start there. Grow. I don't believe I attack because I'm on the defense here. I send goblins in so they gain another 4. We'll attempt to bolt first Spell Queller, which will then attempt to bolt second Spell Queller. Okay. Bolt second Spell Queller. We are filling the graveyard for another Euro here. Second Spell Queller doing its thing. Cleansing on the island. We'll draw a card. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just take care of most of this blue. They do have 2 Noble Hierarchs that I've got to get through at some point. But now that my opponent's out of basics, we know that every Cleansing Wildfire is a strip mine, essentially. We also have a giant 9/9 Judge's Familiar, and we cleared the air. Clearing the air was good. It's much needed. Much needed. I can still play Euros of the Noble Hierarchs here. Alright, we're making a 10/10 Euro now. It's going to be a 12/12 when it attacks, and I probably have to do the whole blocking again. I could also just block with a Rabble Master at this point. Kind of like that line. Let's block with Rabble Master. I'm tired of sending in the goblins. My opponents have 58 life. But maybe we'll clear out enough here. And maybe we'll be able to do something crazy. Judge's Familiar is gigantic. We'll pass to their turn. I have a bolt now to get rid of a Noble Hierarch. Something I may do. Chump blocking Goblin here. Uh-oh. We path our Giver of Runes. Guess we'll give Judge's Familiar protection from white briefly. Very briefly. Very, very briefly. I think here's a perfect time to go ahead and bolt a Noble Hierarch. This way I'm shrinking the amount of blue they have. They did have that mana leak. Now I could have sacrificed this, but I think Judge's Familiar is our only way of winning this at this point. So my opponent did have the mana leak. Sword of Fire and Ice, this gives them protection from blue, meaning that Euro's now probably going to kill me. Not protection from white. Noble Hierarch triggers. Up to 61. Just a little gain. Just a little bit of gaining. They're at 75. Alright, we're going to concede there. I have a Luminarch. I could find a path here as my next card, but they're at 75. They'll be at about 90 life total. Now we're not finding it. We did notice how many basics they did have, though, so that's always good to see. Alright, rest in peace. Skyclaves are probably coming in here. Pro Red's probably not a big deal. Pro Black Red's not a big deal. Ravenous Trap could be interesting if I got enough into the yard one turn. So I don't think that's going to happen. Skyclave and Rest in Peace come in. Rabblemaster feels really awkward in this matchup. I think I'm going to pull the Rabblemaster. So Rabblemaster feels really awkward because if I don't prevent them from finding a Batterskull, we start throwing Goblin tokens away at the Batterskull. I'd rather just have the Rest in Peace and the Skyclave to interact with our opponent versus having Rabblemaster just bashing him with the tokens. We'll see. We'll see. No red in the hand. Got a Path and a Giver and a Judges. We're going to mulligan this looking for Leonin Arbiter quicker. Maybe even Boom Bust. Maybe Ghost Quarter as well. I think we can keep this. We'll get rid of a basic Plains here. And play a Judge's Familiar out. Plan to Boom Bust the first land we see. Maybe Ghost Quarter him and get him from there. Get him from there, hopefully. Breeding Pool shocks this in and immediately plays a Noble Hierarch. Alright. We'll go ahead and shock in. We're going to boom. We're going to set them back a land here, which is kind of a nice way to do this to them. They didn't seem to play too much on turn 2. Alright, in for one past turn. We have a Noble Hierarch. We're just going to F6 through. If they want to play a Path, they can. Path gets the Judge's Familiar here. Just fine. Windswept Teeth. Cracks Windswept Teeth here. What would be cool is to lean an Arbiter and being able to Ghost Quarter them. Basic Plains. Stoneforge Mystic. What are we going to see here? Batterskull, of course. It's a Giver. Luminarch, Giver, Ghost Quarter. I mean, Ghost Quarter doesn't stop them from anything here. So it's probably just going to be a Luminarch Giver turn. Make Judge's Familiar a 2/2, and now we're battling Batterskull again. Probably should have added Wear and Tear to the list. In for 2 past turn. Alright, we're setting up kind of the same style of play here. They just happen to have the Battle Skull a few turns earlier. See if that pays off for them. Misty Rainforest here. Probably going to put a Batter Skull into play. Seems very probable. Pretty probable. Decides the path here. Well, I'm not going to sacrifice Judges. They have way too much mana here. Put the Plains into play. And they pass it back to me. Alright. Bonus Judges Familiar. Let's Sunbaked Canyon first. There is a Bolt. A Bolt's really cute here. We can put the Judges Familiar down. When they go to do the fetch for the Stoneforge, I'm going to be able to bolt the Stoneforge so they don't get a Batter Skull in the play. Just like that. Goodbye, Stoneforge. Goodbye, Stoneforge. We have an island here. Are we going to go ahead and counter now? I'm going to keep my 2/2 Judges Familiar. I'd love to be able to counter this one, but no can do. In for 2 past turn. Opponent's at 11. 3 mana. Paying costs here. Looks like we might have it to Fairy. Nope, Euro. Doing the Euro things. Getting the Euro stuff done. Misty Rainforest into play, and Euro gets sacrificed, going to the yard. A Rest in Peace would be sweet here. Forest, Misty, 3 unknowns. Let's attack. Don't have another mana leak, please. Do not have another mana leak. Do something. Do something, opponent. Do something. Rest in peace. Do you have a counter spell? This is still coming down. We got to deal with the Batter Skull. Skyclave would be a way to do that. Rest in peace hits. Opponent sacrifices a Misty Rainforest here. It's time to get some non-basics, friend. If you keep getting basics, these cleansings and ghost quarters are going to really ruin you. Hallowed Fountain. Shocking it in Ice Fang? Nope. Sideways it goes. Alright, not a whole lot for me to do a Ghost Quarter here. I assume this is just going to be hard casted. We have 3 unknowns plus the Batter Skull. Misty Rainforest here. Cracks the Misty Rainforest. We're at 10 life. 10 life. Snow-covered forest here for our opponent. Trying not to do too much in terms of taking damage. Batter Skull is played here. 2 unknowns. And a Bird of Paradise. Alright, Bird of Paradise can block Judges Familiar. We got the 4/4 doing the 4/4 things. Play our Plains here and attack for 2. Pass the turn. 1 card to beat. And a giant 4/4. At this point, I will take my cleansings to cantrip, start whittling away at some of the basics. There's an Ice Fang for our opponent. It's pretty good for them because they can protect themselves and get around probably Judges Familiar. Oh, we're playing Teferi down. Bounces Giver. We'll give this pro white here. Again, just for the path reasons. Attacks for 4, 5 with the Exalted trigger. And gain some life there. Let's play a Giver down. Let's play a Leonin Arbiter. See if I get to Ghost Quarter them, perhaps. Get a little lucky here. Oh, we have a counter? Oh, we have a counter. We have a counter. Not going to attack with Judge's Familiar. I don't want to lose it to Ice Fang. It's okay if this goes up by 1. I can attack next turn, naming green, and get through. Uh-oh. Hooks up Batterskull to the Bird of Paradise. Goes up here to 2. And attacks for 4/5. I'll pass. Luminarch's not bad. It grows Judge's Familiar at least. Or at least that's the plan here. We can get around a Mana Leak finally. Can't get around a Spell Queller though. 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't attack now. If I attack, I die to the Crackback in the air. I'm going to have to just chill. Uh-oh. Looks like Batterskull is going to win this one. Another Ice Fang. If I'm just them, I just swing in with everything. They don't need to protect this. They're at 18 life. Going to be up to 22 life here. Swing with everything. I do pro green, block the 4/5. I take 3, go to 4. And the following turn, I take 4. Interesting attack here. Alright, give it pro green. Extra Noble Hierarch here. Find ourselves with a Simian Spirit Guide. So next turn they just use Teferi. They bounce the Judge's Familiar. I go pro blue. They attack for 4, and then they just need one of these to connect. We'll make them do this line, but that's the line for my opponent, and they'll they got me. They got me. Oh, they decide to go up here. Okay. I'm going to take one more turn then. Euro gains more life, draws a card. Euro goes to exile, do the rest in peace. Poof. We block here, pro green. I don't think we're going to get there. Not sure if I could draw anything here. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. Why isn't this flying? I'll do this getting rid of Batterskull, see what they end up doing. Oh, they just have a counter spell. Oh, that's not a counter spell. But that's another creature in the air. Oh, with convert mana, it costs 4 or less. I'll take Spell Queller for funsies. We don't get to cast it, though. Alright. My opponent's got us. Let's go to the next match. Moving it right along. Opponent with the pile gets us match 2. 1-1 overall. Let's go. Batterskull wins that both games for them. Super, super strong against our strategy. Especially when they get up to like 80 life. 80 life total. Crazy. Okay. Removal, Double Giver, Cleansing Wildfire. It's a mediocre hand. We'll keep. Seagate here. Alright, I like my Cleansing Wildfire so much more now. Taking the first turn here. We'll do our Giver. Tempting to do my Giver. give her a go. Leonin Arbiter's cute. I think I can probably just Cleansing Wildfire them, though. This is a Oops All Spells or something else. This is a Pentab Prism. We're in trouble. Opponent could just combo us next turn, even though I'm going to blow up something. Manamorphose. Uh-oh. Are we going to get just turn 2'd here? Are they just going to turn to us here? I hope not. I want to play more Magic. We dodged. We dodged. Alright, let's go ahead and Cleansing this turn. And they do not have a land. We'll attack for 1. Pass turn. Turn 3. Do we have more lands? I assume we do. Tap land. Okay. Another Cleansing. Bolt makes next turn lethal. I will attack with Giver here. I'm not worried about losing my Rabble Master. Pretty sure the Bolt makes this lethal if we get another turn. Oh, they bolted their land in. Did we just lose? They do have the Simian Spirit Guide, so they just do everything. And they got us. Alright. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Took out a land. Opponent had the Simian Spirit Guide. Alright, Rest in Peace, Eidolon of Rhetoric here, and Ravenous Trap are gonna come in. We can get rid of, let's see here. Path can be we can get rid of that. Really, Lightning Bolt doesn't do a whole lot. Leonin Arbiter may not do a whole lot either. Let's try that. Eidolon, so that they can't draw extra cards off Manamorphose, is the only reason I'm bringing it in. Rest in Peace, because half of their combo comes there. Ravenous Trap as well from the yard. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-bum. See if we can spike our one of Rest in Peace or a couple Ravenous Traps. Might get lucky. Might get lucky. They can convert themselves into a bit of the Belcher style here. I think they'll have that basic mountain, Foreman. They'll have that basic mountain post board here. Still worth the Cleansing, the Ghost Corridors, and all that. We can get through a land there, possibly. Possibly. Let's play first. Ghost Corridors, Boom Busts, Luminarch to make some big threat. Why do they need a mountain? Because Cleansing Wildfire's in the meta enough in Ghost Corridors that they don't want to randomly miss a land. There's enough land destruction out there that they don't want to be doing that. My opponent's mulliganed the 5 cards. 5. But yeah, Charbelcher's something they can bring in here. They know I'm probably going to be blowing up lands, so they'll get rid of that one of mountain that they'll have. Alright, they keep 5 here. Sacred Foundry tapped. Pass the turn. Planning this Boom Bust first, obviously. See, gate tapped. Let's go ahead and boom. Boom. We'll probably do Luminarch plus Ghost Quarter this coming turn. Unless I hit another creature, in which case we'll do another creature with the Luminarch. Probably actually still lead on the Ghost Quarter in case I get a second Ghost Quarter plus lead on an Arbiter. Maria. Call. Alright, a couple Luminarchs here. Let's go ahead and play Luminarch number 1. I'm going to go ahead and Ghost Quarter them to see if they have that mountain. And we'll pass the turn growing Luminarch by 1. So they do have the mountain. But worth a check. Worth a check. Extra land here. They do bolt in. This is worrisome. Plays a Talisman. That's helping their mana situation right now. Luminarch's a 2/2. Gonna become bigger here. Play Luminarch, play lands. Grow this Luminarch here quite a bit. Attack for 4, pass turn. They're at 13. They're at 13, but they could combo off right here. Turn 4 through 2 land destruction spells or abilities. Do we have it? Do we have it, opponent? This coming turn, I'll probably cantrip the Sunbaked Canyon. 3 mana spent here. Backing this up. Simian Spirit Guide. Exiled. Charbelcher played. Skyclave, please. Basically need a Skyclave at this point. Rabblemaster. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not lethal. They have enough to activate this, so I have to look for something that interacts with the Belcher. Answer is nothing. Alright, looks like my opponent gets us here on turn 5. 1 turn later due to my land destruction spells. Ah well. Ah well. What you gonna do? I had some Stony Silences in from the main list. Maybe they have a second mountain. We'll let this fire off. I had a few Stony Silences, but I got rid of those. Alright. Well, they shot themselves. They shot themselves here. I guess I'll let that resolve. I think that was a mild misclick there. Let's get these Skyclaves in as an option, as an out. Let's get rid of... Let's get rid of the Eidolon. Let's get rid of a Giver here. Let's bring a Bolt back in. Let's bring 2 Bolts back in to try to close the game faster. Let's get rid of the Leonin Arbiters. They clicked themselves. I guess we're going to game 3. That was a big oops. We'll play it. Tickets and play points and all that are on the line. Alright, what do I have here? I have a Luminarch into Rabblemaster on turn 2 and 3. That's not going to be fast enough. There's no way. We're going to mulligan this. Here we go. Alright, so we'll keep this. Get rid of 1 Judge's Familiar. We can Rest in Peace. We can Judge's Familiar. We got to make them make the Charbelcher play here. Opponent's mulligan to 5. We'll see if they're looking for Charbelcher, if they're looking for their other conditions here. May not even bother with the Ghost Quarter. It's a turn 2 rest in peace, and that is what it will be. It'll be Judges, Ghost Quarter, rest in peace here. Seagate, tapped. 4 cards to beat. Sunbake Canyon into play, unless I find a different card. Judge's Familiar down. Pass a turn. Rest in Peace is next. Hopefully I draw a land and then Rabble Master them, forcing it to be one and only Belcher. Alright, we have a Penta Prism here. Ghost Quartering does not do a lot here. We will do a Rest in Peace. Attack for 1, pass turn. Hoping they don't have Belcher. If they have a Belcher, we're in trouble. Turn Timber. No real reason to bolt this in. They don't. Looks like we got lucky here. Alright, looking for a land. We hit it. We're slapping down the Rabble Master. We're getting in for 2. We're passing the turn. Trying to kill our opponent here as quick as possible now before Charbelcher shows up, as that is their win condition. Let's go. Let's go. Blue, black, green. We have an Undercity Informer. It's a blocker. Let's do a... Let's just bolt the Undercity here. And let's just play a Luminarch. Grow something here. Probably doesn't matter. We'll grow Goblin here. Rabble Master token. Luminarch doing its thing. Attacking for the team. And passing the turn. Last turn for our opponent. Down to 6. Blue, black, green. Spy. Spy doing spy things. Everything goes to the bin. Everything except now there's that mountain. The mountain stopped everything, but they've got Spy here as a blocker, I suppose. Cool. I guess we win this one. Opponent did a little bit of a misclick there. We've had plenty of games where we misclick, we miss a combat because it skips through, or other things. So it happens. It's part of learning our MTGO interface, I guess. So, asterisk by this win. Asterisk by that win. All right, we're 2-1 overall, though. 2-1. Asterisks. Sometimes you get licky. Clicky. Licky clicky. I've done it. I click a little too fast. Gotta get those APM up. Zerg player. Zerg player. They're probably used to clicking themselves because they use Spy. Clicking on stuff that you shouldn't? Yeah. It's like when you're on Arena and you click your pet a billion times so that it explodes. Alright, next opponent found. 2-1 overall. We got 2 more matches here. Let's see if we can make this a winning record with Turbo Boom. With the Turbo Boom. Okay. Looks like an A-OK hand. We'll go ahead and keep this. Giver into Leon and Arbiter is fine with a removal spell. And top end. Cavern of Souls. Looks like my opponent's going to be humans. This will make this exceptionally hard. I appreciate the immediate tap down of Aether Vial here from my opponent. Alright, Arbiters are probably going to be not as impactful here. I'm leaving myself Bolt up instead of Giver because they shouldn't have too much that interacts here. We have a Thalia's Lieutenant. We have something else coming in here, which probably is a Champion Noble. Alright, I'm going to kill the Lieutenant here because the Lieutenant's going to grow a whole bunch where the Noble doesn't. Play Arbiter, pass turn. Not worrying so much about the Boom Bust here because setting myself back a land doesn't make much sense here because of the Aether Vial. Extra land for our lovely opponent. Makes white, blue, blue. Or no, white, white, blue. Reflector Mage bounces an Arbiter here. And swings for 2. Exalted. Alright, let's put double Giver down this turn and pass. We're setting ourselves up so Rabblemaster can stay on the battlefield. My opponent F6 through their turn as well, so they didn't have anything on 2. Must have everything on 3 or a land heavy hand. Horizon Canopy cracks the Horizon Canopy and finds themselves with a freebooter. Can take Boom Bust. There you go. Here you go. I hand it to you. Here you go. Take it. There you go. Nice. Brings in for 3 a Mantis Rider, and it looks like we're going to be hit for about 5 damage. We'll take our 5. Rabblemaster number 1 here. We will attack with the token. In this case, I am actually going to give it protection for whatever blocks. That way I keep this token around. My opponent decides to triple block here, so I can't name anything. Can't name green, can't name black, and red, right? Because I can name green and black, but I can't name red, blue, or white. It's a spectrum here. So we'll pass it back here. Luckily, I can block now with Rabblemaster if I would like to. Probably going to take 4 in the air. Extra land and 1 unknown card. Plays another Aether Vial. Okay, so we've got the board to beat here. Attacks for 4. We go to 9. I guess we're playing Rabblemasters. In go the Rabblemasters. We'll yield to this because we've got a lot of them. Attacking we go. Rabblemaster gets big. Name protection green there. Nope. All right, we'll do the one here because I can name white. All right, they're doubling up these so that I have to lose one. So we're going to protect one of these. I'm going to name white and black over here. Oh, I named white first. Well, in that case. Need to name black, then white. My bad. I ordered that wrong. Alright, a few Aether Vials here. Got 1 card. Maybe it's good that I didn't do 2 of them there, because the Giver can protect something here. Probably 4 in the air again. We have 4 once more in the air with the Kite Sails. Gonna have another Rabblemaster. Judge is familiar. Not what I want to play. Rabblemaster. It's a lot of Rabblemaster. I thought I yielded these. Okay, so what does this come down to? We'll yield this. 6 and 6. I think we just hold tight here for one more turn. I expect them to do a little bit of blocking, right? Just had a nice game of Jeskai versus Abzan. You know what's good against Liliana's? Brainstorming. It's a lot of Rabble Master here, right? My opponent's going super wide to protect everything here. We're going to give protection from blue. We're hoping that last card's not like an aerial threat here. With the amount of Rabble Masters I have here, I'm just hoping that the last threat's not in the air. I hope it's not a Noble as well. So we need to dodge a Noble, need to dodge... Excuse me. Need to dodge a Noble and need to dodge like a Mantis Rider or a Phantasmal Image. By the way, this is all of our Rabble Masters. We only have 3 in this list. Looks like I'm going to 1. They could have a Thalia's Lieutenant too, which I'm hoping they don't. To 1 I go. Following this with another Freebooter. Alright, so I almost need like a Bolt here so I can kill Mantis Rider and then name black on 2 Rabble Masters and get in. Cleansing Wildfire. I suppose it's worth a cantrip here. Let's make it a cantrip here. Why not? If I top deck that Bolt, things get real interesting. Another Arbiter. All right, so obviously everything goes in because Rabble Masters are very angry. I'm at 1. Do I have to play this in such a way where I have to name red, 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 and then play Judge's Familiar because this will be the last thing because they had the block, block, block? I think that's what I've got to do. And I can't do red, red, red because there's only 2 givers. These are 7 and this is 3 damage here. They're going to block. Let's just assume. Let's do block here, block here, block here. So if I do black, black, they can do black here, and then block here and block here, or block here. Black, black. Not sure I can win this. I'm going to be like a couple points short. So they're going to throw black over here, so I have 2 coming through. Black on this. And then they chump here. They're going to have a black available to them. What if I just let everything go through here? And they just chump. Block, block, chump, chump. I don't think I do anything. I need to leave a giver available for the block on a Noble, and I need to play a Judge's Familiar here. Yeah, this is a very good block from them. We needed like a 3rd giver here. 7, 8 damage is coming through. I get a boom bust back. I'll play the Judge's Familiar here and pass turn. Just a few points short. I would have saved one of the goblins there if I would have played that correctly the other turn. And if saving that one goblin would have made all the Rabble Masters bigger, and I'd have one more goblin getting through. So that earlier misplay cost us the game, which is a shame. So our misplay did cost us this game. All right. Game 2 against a creature-heavy little group. Skyclave here, maybe some Oriok champions. I need Paths, Bolts. Probably don't need the Judge's Familiars for this one, although Judge's Familiars could be flying threats, which might be good to have. I think I can actually take these Boom Busts out, because if my opponent finds their Aether Vials, we're in trouble. Take a pair of Leonin Arbiters out as well. My opponent's not necessarily going to be fetching too much for basics, so Leonin Arbiter is probably not very good here. Heavy creature matchup, not what we wanted to run into. Let's give it a shot. Too bad we're not in Red Prison. Friday, Friday, Friday. Friday, Friday, Friday. We're 2-1, Uncle DB. 2-1 on our 4th match here. Looking a bit... We'd be up a game if we would have named black first, then white. Ooh. On our protection for that one token that one time. So is this deck inspired the Cleansing Wildfire and Leonin Arbiter synergy? I believe so. I believe so. Here. Let's just have some fun with our opponent. A couple of removal spells, Cleansing Wildfire. Any changes I think should be made? The creator's been working on new iterations of this. I probably have to defer to them since this is only our 2nd league. I brought the Skyclaves in, but I missed the Stony Silence already against Belcher, but we ended up winning against Belcher, not because we maybe deserved that win. I think the list is actually kind of a fun little tune list. It's maybe about tier 3-ish in terms of how frequently you're going to run into it. And if you want to use tiers as power rankings, but they're not really. I feel like I should run a Gemstone Caverns if you're that committed to the SSG plan. We're not. We're not that committed to it. And because the deck is so low to the ground with needing to just hit like 3 sources, I don't see a reason to lose a land or something else to a gemstone. Alright, we have a human here. We're going to get rid of the human. Goodbye, Noble Hierarch. Next up will be Cleansing Wildfire. I'd rather play your mono green devotion list. Went 4-1 today with it. Straight gas. Yeah! It is, isn't it? Ooh, Arbiter's kind of cute here with the Ghost Quarter. Arbiter's kind of cute with the Ghost Quarter. Arbiter's getting real cute with the Ghost Quarter. I'm actually going to just fire it off. I'm going to fire it off here. I know they can pay for this. That's okay with me. They decide to cantrip instead. That's fine. We dismember Leonin Arbiter. I'm going to see how many basics you have, opponent. Show me that other basic. That's what I thought. Alright, my opponent accidentally skips their stage. I don't know. Maybe they didn't mean to skip it. Simian Spirit Guide down, passing the turn. And it looks like we're passing the turn again. Luminarch here. Pump up the Simian Spirit Guide, attack with the Simian Spirit Guide, and my opponent has no desire to continue playing the game. Humans should be running 2 basics. I'm not sure if they just failed to go search or what, but they should have 2 basics. So we beat them with the plan that I kind of took out. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to work with that, excuse me, to work with that Aether Vial other than Skyclave. Play faster? Ultra fast magic. It might have been, Meldrick. It might have been, but then my opponent killed the Leonin Arbiter when I Ghost Quartered and didn't find anything. So I guess they're on 1 basic. Super greedy. Ultra greedy list. Alright, I'm going to keep this. The reason I'm going to keep this, even though it doesn't have land destruction, is my opponent's going to be probably playing an Aether Vial here, now that they got completely wiped out. And so searching for something like that would just be silly. Got this nice Judge's Familiar, Auriok Champion. My opponent's pretty big on the tap that in immediately. Got a pair of Auriok Champions I could play, or a Luminarch. Luminarch would be cute because Luminarch would grow Judge's Familiar. We do Luminarch, Rabblemaster into double Auriok Champion. We can also play Auriok Champions to start offsetting a little bit of what's going on here with my opponent. Hey, thank you for the follow. Alright, my opponent names a Lightning Bolt with their Meddling Mage here. Smart. I think I want to grow Judge's Familiar. I think I want to play Aspirant first, followed by Rabblemaster. Maybe just followed by Auriok Champions. Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm thinking this is what I want next. Luminarch, grow Judge's Familiar, pass a turn after attacks. If my opponent does do a freebooter here, it's not going to do anything. I don't plan to lose this to anything, but we will not F6 through this turn, just in case they try to attack the Luminarch. I would probably save the Luminarch if they tap out. This is for creature cards, though, so who knows. I like the Judge's promo, too. I have a, it's in the other room, but I have a print framed of the Judge's Familiar art. I like it. One of my favorite cards. Hey, thank you for the follow. Losing my voice a little bit tonight. So Rabblemaster tokens will probably not get through here. They do gum up the board quite a bit. So we're probably Tapland Auriok Champion followed by Sunbaked Auriok Champion, possibly cantripping the Sunbaked Canyon. Full foil EDH Bird Tribal. My budget list that I played with a group that we used to play with It was a budget EDH kanji list. Pretty good. Pretty good. Aether Vial on 2 here. Thalia, this lieutenant. Phantasmal Image. Decides to copy Luminarch. Looks like we're going to be racing, ladies and gentlemen. Luminarch's going to make this a 3/3 and attack me for 3. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Probably don't want to take any more damage if I don't have to. This would be the turn to play a Rabblemaster down because they are a bit tapped out here and wouldn't flash anything in. I'm tempted by it. Then I could play Auriok Champion down. And I know I can get 2 down. Oh, Meddling Mage. Alright. They'll probably name Giver, Bolt, Path, Cleansing. I doubt they've named Rabblemaster and they have not seen this. There's a Path. Alright. Ooh, another Luminarch. How do you beat 1 Luminarch? You make 2 Luminarchs. Let's just not take damage here. Play a second Luminarch and make Judge's Familiar the largest bird the side of the multiverse. In for 4 pass turn, hoping for no Reflector Mage. Reflector Mage, things get real awkward. We'll probably play 2 Auriok Champions next turn and follow it with a Rabblemaster to gain tons of life. Tons of life. In for 3 here. Bugler. Alright, well, it was not a Reflector Mage, so we got that going for us. Reaper King, Ren, and Seri, and my cat. Which is cute cards. Fair enough, fair enough. Freebooter shows up here. They can't take anything. It's non-creatures. You do what you want to. You make the list yours. That's what you do. What do we have here? What's the follow-up? Alright, Luminarch's going to make something a little bit bigger. Makes the other Meddling Mage a touch bigger here. Hits for 6, possibly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this 6 here and go to 9. I feel okay doing this. We might sit back here and become defensive now, because I'll have 2 Auriok Champions down. And we'll spread out the counters from here. We'll do 1 to Judge's Familiar to be bigger than a Meddling Mage. But we'll do 1 to something else, maybe a Auriok Champion or something. Alright, this is looking okay here. We have decided to dismember something. We're dismembering Burb. I'll counter it. Countered. Alright. Got a couple 3/3s here that we got to worry about. Gonna play Rabblemaster down and gain some here. We can probably take this 6. Might be 7 because Luminarch's gonna make this Meddling Mage bigger. This will be interesting. This is close. What's up, Marauder Otter? Marauder Otter Otter. Marauder Otter Otter Otter. Luminarch making things bigger. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Makes a Bugler bigger over here. 3/6/9 is what they're going to attack with. I'm going to block 1 Auriok Champion here. I'm going to save this Auriok Champion. Play Rabblemaster to gain a little bit of life. It's going to be weird because they have a Path and a Bolt covered here. Let's take 0 here. Rabblemaster, tap land. Gain 1, gain 2. I don't think I have enough here. Luminarch double up on Auriok Champion here to make it big enough to fight. Auriok Champion. Trigger, trigger, triggers. 4/4. I don't know. This doesn't look very good. In for 1, they block easily. When they copied my Luminarch, things were a problem. What you playing today? Went 3-0 with mono white tokens last night at F&M. Nice. We're playing Turbo Boom Bust, and we'll be playing Vesper Lark Reanimator. I'm tired of getting 4-1s. We're gonna see that list a lot more here in October, trying to get that 5-0. Rose Bugler. Okay. Attacks with these. I'm gonna just chump block with Rabble Master. Okay. Chump blocking with Rabble Master because I can grow some stuff again. Hoping to do that. Kitesail Freebooter does get the Cleansing Wildfire. I do gain a life, though, for that coming into play. There goes Cleansing. Top is a Plains. Let's cantrip Sunbaked Canyon here. It's a Giver. Play Giver here. I'm going to hold the Plains here. Gain life from Auriok Champion. Let's grow Auriok Champion 1. Let's grow a Luminarch 1. No attacks. What are the strongest few decks in the format at the moment? That Omnath deck is pretty powerful, or Euro just in general is still very powerful. So Bant or an Omnath variant of that. The red-black prowess list is fairly powerful right now, although I think it can be easily targeted. That makes Death Shadow relatively powerful as well. Humans is seeing a resurgence here, as you're kind of seeing. Luminarch should be putting over here and attacking. They're giving me time here by putting on a Bugler here. Mono white tokens is the answer. I think my opponent could attack out at this point and be pretty safe to win the game. They probably won't. Choosing not to attack out here. Let's block like this, see what they want to do. I might kill Luminarch here because then they can keep up with theirs. Wow, my opponent's just like going to town. Alright, but they do dismember here. This probably kills me. I can't deal with 3 damage here. They've got Bolt covered with this Meddling Mage, and I top deck a land, so we'll give it to my opponent. Taking my Luminarch there with the Phantasm probably wins them that game, because otherwise we were going to grow everything to be large enough to get around everything. So well played on our opponent's part. Little slip up there, game 1. Probably cost us the chance of getting at least to a game 3 against our human opponent. All right, final match here with the Turbo Boom deck. Let's see if we can knock it out here with a 3-2. All right, hand looks fine. We'll go ahead and keep this. Judge is familiar. Into perhaps Cleansing or Boom Bust into Rabble Master, maybe, depending on which order we do this. Sunbaked Canyon for our opponent. We'll play our Judge is familiar and pass the turn. Sunbaked Canyon might be their own version of Boom Bust. We'll find out. Scourge Jund. Hey, look at this! Look at this! What are we doing over there, opponent? What do you want to do? Yeah. Opponent's like, whoa, 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 judge is familiar. Cancel some of this out. That's correct, opponent. That's correct. Let's do a cleansing wildfire on the Sunbaked Canyon here. Don't want to hit the flagstones. It looks like we're against essentially a mirror match. My opponent decides to cantrip instead of just taking their land. Seems a little silly. And we'll attack for 1 pass turn. I have Rabble Master coming up now because I use Cleansing instead of Boom Bust. Need my deck tech after this? Alright. We'll get there, Foreman. We'll get there. Although if you keep winning, what do you need me for? I think you got it. Alright, so we've got the mirror match, which is interesting because the 2 times I've played this list now, the final round is the mirror match. We'll see if we're just better at the mirror match than they are. Snow-covered mountain flagstones here. Looks like they're going to give us the turn back. We'll go ahead and play a Rabble Master. Play a Rabble Master. Helix is a thing they could do to us. We'll be attacking for 2. 1 Judge's Familiar and 1 Goblin token. Riggedy, thank you for the follow. You'll be inherently biased. Opponent bolts. Respect that bolt main phase stop. Well done, opponent. In for 1 pass turn. Well, now I can line up some of these boom busts. Cascading Cataracts. Can't do a whole lot to that. Cleansing Wildfires themselves to ramp. Opponent's ramping. So they're trying to use this as a ramp style instead of going after me, which is probably okay at this point. Tap land. We get another Rabble Master, getting in for 2 points of damage. Let's see what happens. We might be the more aggressive deck. We might be. We might be. No path at the end step. Inspiring Vantage here. Chandra showing up. Probably killing Rabble Master here. Does so. I have but 1 more Rabble Master. They're beating me in my own game. I have exactly 1 more Rabble Master. Wonder if we'll draw it. Wonder if we'll draw it. Excuse me. Wow, it's getting really finicky. Really finicky. Alright, token in. Judge's Familiar in. Down to 14. Being very aggressive with all of our creatures here. Need to avoid a board wipe and a follow-up Planeswalker. 3 mana. It's very Anger the Gods-like in tapping. Please don't be Anger the Gods. Thank you. Molten Rains. Okay. I'm good with that. Follows this up with a... Don't do a Helix now. I can counter that. I'm going to accept my fate here that I will not have red mana. Let's see where it gets me. Ooh. Yes. We're going to spread the wealth here with the aspirant here. We're going to put it on a token. Doesn't need to be on all the creatures here. Yes. Attack with all. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. How much damage is that? It's 10. Down to 4. 10 down to 4. We've got a board state that has many creatures. My opponent has only had a Chandra, really, and a Lightning Bolt. Otherwise, they've gone completely after our lands. As the Boom Bust Turbo version, we take game 1 against our opponent here. Yes, we did. Nice. All right. So, I want everything and anything with protection from red. We'll bring Skyclaves in here as well. We are literally going to get rid of our cleansings and our boom busts. This is not the game we want them in. Lastly, probably okay with some Simian Spirit Guides. I don't want even the paths. Let's go. Leonin Arbiters, Burning Forge, Core Firewalkers, Auriok Champions. Get the double white, get the creature down, win the game by beating them down. Hand looks fantastic. We'll keep. The only thing that this hand lacks is a distinct lack of lands. And that could be a problem. But let's not make it a problem. Sunbaked Canyon here. We're going to lead with Judge's Familiar. Leading with Judge's Familiar, if they have a bolt, fine. But if they don't, they try to do like a boom bust or something, then we'll get them. Opponent manatizes us. We counter with our Simian Spirit Guide, and we get the bird down. What's Manatithe? Gotcha card. And I can keep myself from losing a land here, which is what I will do. We don't want to lose this land. Nope. Cantrip plus ramp? What if I don't want them to do this? Judge's Familiar. Gonna take us the distance. Countered. Get countered, opponent. You think you're gonna win this game. The answer to that question of whether you'll win this game or not is becoming 0%. Next level magic, exactly. Thank you for the follow as well. My opponent does hit their third land source. We booming, we bust him, we molten raining. All right, they do a boom bust here, taking care of my Sunbaked Canyon. Next level from my opponent. Go ahead and slap out a Giver of Runes past turn. Manatize me, that's fine. Can't have it all, right? we can't have it all, right? In for 1 past turn. I'm not sure how they'll beat this, though. If I can get the second one down, we'll be in great shape. We busting this away? Do it. I see you over there, opponent. I see you over there. But this is pro-red. What are you going to do? Path me? Heh. Heh. Blow this one up, opponent. Blow that flagstones up. Auriok Champion here with the Judge's Familiar. Gains a life, attacks for 1, passes the turn. And I'm probably just going to F6 because I really don't care if they kill Judge's Familiar and kill my land at this point. Go ahead. Do your worst. Cleansing Wildfires, their land. Not going to use the Judge's Familiar here because, well, that would be a bit silly with the Sunbaked Canyon sitting over there. Snow-covered plains obtained and a draw step as well. Extra land here, 2 cards to beat. Plenty of mana. Not a lot of action, though. All right, we're going to play a second Auriok Champion down. I'm putting the Auriok Champion as a priority over Luminarch here, because Luminarch can get hit by a Helix, where the 2 Auriok Champions cannot. My Judge's Familiar was just because of mana efficiency. We're looking pretty good. Taking it to them. A Path gets these. But they don't tend to play Path. Uh-oh, what's all this white mana? Oh my gosh, Wrath of God. I got got. They're gonna blow up this plains. Top deck mode. Top deck mode. Cantrips or Sunbaked Canyon. Finds a Nahiri. We're kind of in trouble now. We're in a little bit of trouble. Land. Oh, it's actually a pretty good land, too. Flagstone helps to fix the mana a little bit. Get to play a Luminarch and grow the Luminarch. It's not tapped, so Nahiri can't do nasty things to it. 1 card in hand, plus the loot, plus the draw. I needed a sack to make them pay 1 more. I could have. We've been pretty mean to them with the Simian Spirit Guide and the Mana Tithe, so passed on that opportunity. Nahiri's at 8. It's not very good for us. Got rid of another Nahiri. 2 mana here. 3 mana. And Anger of the Gods. Anger of the Gods. Let's bolt Nahiri. Keep it in check here. Goes down to 5. Pass the turn. Do you ever take suggestions for fun decks? Because I would love to see someone do werewolves. We might open donation leagues up. But subs do get the opportunity to suggest things in our sub Discord. And they know I occasionally take from there. Sometimes I'm just like, guys, I need an idea. Opponent pillages our 1 land here. That was red. We're struggling. We thought we were beating them at their own game. Looks like Nahiri's going to do the Emrakul things to us. This is not looking very good. 3 mana. Chandra. Ups to 8. Down ticks to go get Emrakul. It's more of just a win more. I have a version that might interest you. Let's hold here. If I top deck a land, then I could Rabblemaster. And based on kind of where we're at, if this just goes and gets Emrakul, that's fine. I'll go to 6. And I wouldn't call Nahiri a win more in this build because all they're doing is land destruction until they find this. All right, Emrakul's here. Emrakul's going to do Emrakul things. Attacks for 15, Annihilator. We lose Flagstones. We'll go get Sacred Foundry. We're hoping they don't have a follow-up Molten Rain. I think it's time to go to game 3. This attacks me 3 times over. Alright, so they're playing Wrath of Gods. We need to be mindful of that going forward. Either need to beat them quickly or not put everything into play so quickly. Alright. I don't think I changed anything. I think we're still doing the... I don't know, maybe I keep the Cleansing Wildfires in. Offbeat, it's going alright. We're 2-2. And we've kind of run into the mirror. I can't seem to not get through a league without running into the mirror. Alright, 2 Cleansing Wildfires in for 2 Burningtons. I still want to be mainly focused on all the creatures, so we're going to keep those for now. I'm a gentleman, letting them get the flawless victory. Alright, lots of lands here. That's always good to see. Mana Tithe. We love me some Mana Tithe. Starting off with the Giver of Ruins here, we got Cleansing Wildfire, which will probably just fire off to cantrip here. Opponent's got an Inspiring Vantage. Might even use it on ourselves here, the Cleansing Wildfire. I'll probably Mana Tithe this. You know what? Let's force the Mana Tithe. Ramp Trip. I'm going to just do it this way here. I know we could be ramping on our side, but we've got some good things going on here with the lands, so not gonna rush anything crazy out. If they don't touch Giver here, I get to get Luminarch down safely. Probably a Helix though. Booms are Inspiring Vantage and gets to take advantage of Flagstone's ability here. Sacred Foundry tapped. Alright, Luminarch coming down. We're going to make Luminarch big. And Giver will protect Luminarch. Dog Pog? What are we... Why are we dog pogging? What's a dog pog anyway? What's a dog pog anyway? We'll see if they continue to blow up my lands. That seems to be what they like to do. Sacred Foundry tapped here. Looks like they have nothing. Passing back to me. Inspiring Vantage played. Luminarch getting bigger. I will attack with Luminarch as well and pass the turn. It is a 3/3. Getting close to a Wrath of God, which worries me. Not a lot I can do against the Wrath of God. Unless I have my own Mana Tithe. Sacred Foundry shocks in here. This looks like the Wrath. Give this protection from... we're going to give it protection from colorless. Did we do it? Did we do it? Colorless? I do not. Cantrip a Sunbaked Canyon here, since we have an extra Sunbaked Canyon. Trying to find something else to do here than a Skyclave. Sunbaked Canyon for my opponent. Nahiri. Luckily, I can get rid of that. Gets rid of an Emrakul. Emrakul disappears back into the library. Skyclave to get rid of the Nahiri. Don't want that to beat us in the future. That being said, a 4/4 coming back will be kind of a problem. Nom 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 nom. Probably our best way to get rid of a Nahiri. Anger the Gods. Brings back a 4/4. Tapped Inspiring Vantage, 2 cards to beat. Play a Leonin Arbiter of our own. Ghost Quarter. Might just Ghost Quarter the Sunbaked Canyon right now. Make them use it right now. They decided to float the mana so they can search instead. That's okay with me. I'd rather them search than get to use the Sunbaked Canyon as a cantrip here. I will block and I will bolt. I hope they don't kill this. Can you kill the Skyclave ability on the stack and then they won't get the token? Yeah, if you have something that counters a trigger. Ooh, Chandra. Chandra goes up here. Okay, I'm probably still blocking here with the Leonin Arbiter. I'm planning to use a bolt here because they only have 1 white open. They play an Inspiring Vantage, so they have 1 card left. We get rid of this and we're in top deck mode, along with our friend over there. They do have an Anger the Gods they can use, which is a little sad that I drew now a Rabble Master. Let's take a cantrip here first. Probably not going to play the Rabble Master until I have another thing to do. Avoiding a Mana Tithe here as well. Looks like Chandra's probably going up to 6. Might make some tokens. Makes tokens. 2 damage in. Okay. Tokens disappear. We get a Judge's Familiar. I'm going to just play the Judge's Familiar and pass. Not going to run the Rabble Master out due to the Anger of the Gods in the Yard with the Chandra interaction here. Flame Slashes. Okay. Makes a pair of Elementals attacks for 2. New Flagstone. This is going to be kind of tough to beat here, I think. We're going to have to time this with some other spell, I think. Because Rabble Master alone is really just not going to get rid of this due to these cards in the yard. So no Johnny. Tune, yeah, that would probably do it. But now you're putting 2 cards into it. It's tough to say. So Johnny here with a Chandra Acolyte's a real problem for us. They're gonna get to get a Johnny's Destroy All Lands ability pretty quick here. That being said, I do find a Core Firewalker, so this is a good way to get rid of some of the loyalty that's building up on both of these. I'd love to see a Bolt here to help me get rid of this Ajani. What's up, Rodeo? Eldrick. We've played this. Taps down Inspiring Vantage here. Kind of afraid of a bust, honestly. Luminarch. Alright, so this is a potential turn here. We can play a Luminarch down. That grows Core Firewalker here. I'm not going to put the Rabble Master down just yet because they're going to want to Anger or Flame Slash. Here I have to go after the Ajani. This way I just don't die to losing all my lands. So Johnny's going to go down to 4. They may now use Chandra down tick here next turn to use like Anger or the Flame Slash to get rid of the Luminarch. That might be a time to play the Rabble Master. Instead they have a Bolt in hand. And they make Luminarch down. I'm a little surprised they didn't have a main stop to prevent it from growing the Core Firewalker there. You think the opponents might be cooler than ours? It's not cooler than ours. It's not cooler than ours. It's an Auriok champion. We're getting there. I'm afraid of a Wrath of God now. We'll attack 3 at Ajani again. And pass the turn. Please don't have a Wrath of God. If they have a Wrath of God, we're probably losing this. I could be attacking them, but I had to get Ajani kind of in check here. 3 red mana. It's very Molten Rain-like. Does a pillage. Okay. We gain a little bit of life. Pillage keeps our other red source tapped down. Maybe I'm the chosen one. Decides to go pillage again here. 3, 4, 5. This may be the next turn. This coming turn might be worth a try at Rabble Master to make Chandra low enough. We don't make a Johnny low enough by doing that, though. Ooh. Ooh. Mana Tithe is still a thing. All right, let's not put... I'm trying to avoid putting Rabble Master in too early here. We're going to kill a Johnny here. And we'll see what else they want to do with this Chandra. These both have protection from red. It's always good. You know what? Let's just kill a Johnny flat out here. No reason to get super fancy. If they down tick, I can maybe like lightning bolt the Chandra. I have a feeling they have another Chandra because they're going down with this now, but we'll see. My opponent's avatar is the same as mine. What are you talking about? Pillages away my tap land. We gain life. They're just deciding to pillage everything I have here. You could make a small argument that I should have attacked them. Perhaps that's what I do here now. With this Inspiring Vantage, I go for just a bolt to the face here. Bolting the face here. Maybe I try Rabble Master. I feel like they've got a Mana Tithe. I could do 4 at Chandra. Let's do it this way. Lean an Arbiter. Gain some life. Let's kill the Chandra here. I'm risking a couple things. Wrath of God being one of them. But I think getting rid of that Chandra so they don't just like repeat a spell that maybe they have in hand, like another Pillage, feels like the right line. Flame slashes the creature over here. It's not a Wrath of God, so that's good. Again, I think they have Mana Tithe. Do they have Path? Probably. Probably not, actually. Let them for 4. I'm gonna hit them for 4 and pass turn. I'm gonna do nothing else here. Like I said, I think it's a Mana Tithe. So the list across from us typically does not play Path. The reason they don't play Path is because they're trying to destroy your lands. Opponent finds a Sunbaked Canyon off the top and cantrips. And finds no other action. Put a Sacred Foundry into play tapped and attack for 4. We are 1 turn away here. Holding Rabble Master in case they find Wrath. There you go. 3-2 overall with a Boom Bust. A turbo version in Modern. Let's take a look. So I brought in Skyclaves instead of Stony Silence. Match 2, game 2, game 2. Skyclave was worse than Stony. Final matchups, Skyclave was better than Stony. I think this list could use like a Gideon, quite honestly, after playing it a few times. The small Gideon of the Trials. I do like my Judge's Familiars. I think the Luminarch does make things a little soft, but I do like how it's playing out with making just a few creatures bigger, and a couple smacks protecting with Giver Runes is really nice. I think overall the list is a fun one. I think you just need to tune whatever you're running into. If you're not seeing yourself with Prowess, get rid of the Burningtons. Oriok's been really good. Core Firewalker's been good. Probably these Burningtons could be something else anyway. Ravenous Trap, only if you're seeing the Dredge or that Oops All Spells list, which we end up running into. So the cards have their places. And when they come up, they do come up big. There you go. Red White Boom Bust.